And joining us now for more is Dr. Mordechai Kedar, Vice President of Newsrael, and he joins us from Tel Aviv. And Dr. Kedar, you're known as a Middle East analyst, but you did sign off on a petition, I believe, calling for peace negotiations between Azerbaijan and Armenia. But first, let me ask you, where do you see this conflict going if there is not a serious effort to try to come to have Armenia and Azerbaijan really reach agreement on the future of what happens in that region?
Well, before I answer you, I have to correct the caption, which now is under the picture. There is no Nagorno-Karabakh Republic. It was, or still is, or remnants of an enclave within Azerbaijan.
Right.
There is no such a republic named Nagorno-Karabakh. It is an enclave in Azerbaijan. This is the first thing. Second thing, it is always better to have peace rather than war. You know, in peace, things are being sorted much better way. And this is why the sides should sit and come to some kind of solution. And this actually was the petition which I signed. Thirdly, don't forget that the Armenian enclave in Azerbaijan is part of Azerbaijan. And they can stay there. The people do not really have to flee away from this area to Armenia. They can stay and live together with the Azerbaijani as a minority, like in many other countries. Nobody chases them out. Nobody forces them to run away. And they decided
to run away. Why do you think then they're fleeing? Obviously, some of them do feel threatened, or they feel concerned for their future, and they are choosing to say vote with their feet, as they say.
Look, you're right, but don't forget that in Azerbaijan there are other minorities. For example, the Jewish community there feels very well. Nobody is running away. And Jews feel very comfortable in Azerbaijan. The same thing could be with the Christians of Karabakh. So, and unfortunately, the picture which is depicted by the media is rather distorted. Look, in the last round of violence, which was like 3 weeks ago, only everyone is precious man, but only 10 people got killed. And this is mainly because of the irresponsible behavior of the underground of the Armenians who were there in Karabakh. Okay, they wanted a separate state, but they were defeated, woefully defeated, and their irresponsibility actually was the result. What was the reason for what we see today?
All right. Obviously, the Armenians tell a different story, but let's put that aside for the moment. Israel wasn't entirely neutral in this conflict. It did supply weapons to Azerbaijan, its close ally in that part of the world, weapons that may have given it a decisive edge in the region. But of course, Israel has ties to Armenia as well. There's an Armenian presence, population here in Israel. Can Israel play a role now in reconciliation? What does it stand to gain or lose by getting at least sort of diplomatically involved in this dispute?
Look, there are other countries which are trying to mediate. The United States, I know that some European countries try. Russia tries to bring some kind of rapprochement between the two sides, the Azeri and the Armenians. And I'm not sure that Israel is the only country which can bring about the solution to this problem. Of course, Israel would be more than happy to contribute to this to the solution, but I'm not sure that Israel is the only one on the line.
Right. Now, let's talk about the bigger strategic implications here. There was a point in which Russia, of course, and Vladimir Putin were backing Armenia, then seemed to reverse itself. I mentioned that Israel certainly had its support for Azerbaijan, so did Turkey and President Erdogan. How does a clear victory for Azerbaijan here impact on the bigger strategic calculus in that region?
Definitely. The Southern Caucasus is a very important region. First of all, it is bordering with Iran. And Iran has a lot to do with everything which goes on to its north, means in Azerbaijan, in Armenia, in Karabakh, in other regions as well. Secondly, don't forget that there is a plan to pave a way, or autostrad, or train railway, all the way between China and Europe, through Azerbaijan and some other countries, Turkmenistan. And this, what happened recently, definitely enables to promote this project, which will bring a change to the world economy and the accessibility of countries like China to Europe, and not being, through the seas, but through the land.
Right. But you talked about Iran, though, in a sense, also being impacted on this. What about Turkey? And Israel and Turkey found itself sort of on the same side here in supporting Azerbaijan. Is that impact on perhaps the growing links between Israel and Turkey? Reports that of Netanyahu perhaps even visiting Turkey in the coming months.
Definitely. Don't forget that Israel and Turkey cooperated with the support to Azerbaijan already in 2020, 3 years ago, when the bigger war was there. And definitely, the two countries have much in common. And this apparently what was in the basis of the meeting of, I would say, the warm meeting between Netanyahu and Erdogan. We have the differences, but we do have many things in common, and this is one of them.
Well, certainly this conflict will still be simmering and will have deeper impact, of course, far beyond the Caucasus regions.
Not necessarily. No. Don't be mistaken. Once the problem in Karabakh is solved and the whole country is Azerbaijan, after all, and is how the world views it, now there is an opening for a peaceful life between the Azerbaijani and the Armenians. By the way, there is another problem, which I'm not sure that I-24...
I'm afraid we're not going to have
the southern Azerbaijanis in Iran.
Okay, well, we're not going to have time. Dr. Kedar, we'll have to end on that positive note, as we're not going to have time for further. Dr. Mordechai Kedar, thank you for joining us.